Hope for survival. Where will you be when the lights go out? At Hope for Survival, our goal is preparedness. Our mission, self-reliance. Get prepared.
Hey fellow patriots, Bravo Echo here. I wanted to do a quick podcast to have a quick discussion on the calendar going forward because in the recent weeks I'm getting a lot of questions from folks on predicting the future, and between now and the election, how do I see a sequence of events. So I wanted to kind of share with you my thinking and thoughts on now till November. So first, I wanted to show you, this is my crystal ball, which is a soccer ball, which should tell you I don't have a crystal ball. And second, I wanted to share with you my calendar, how I have it marked out on how I believe events will transpire. So here's my July calendar. As you can see, it's blank. My August calendar, which is blank. My September calendar, which is blank. My October calendar, which is blank. And my November calendar, which is blank. So you may say, well, gee, how are you predicting the future if your calendar is blank? Well, as I explained in a couple classes, I look at things a bit differently. First off, as a preparer, I believe we have to focus on all possible events. So instead of looking at the election as a target date and everything involving the election that could transpire, I also consider hurricanes, tornadoes, unemployment, homelessness, food shortages, riots, anarchy, unstable monetary system, potential weaknesses within the federal government, EMPs, solar flares. So what I'm saying to you is there is a host of potential disasters that we could face any day between now and November. So as I talk about in training, and I also talk about in my book Hope for Survival, is I basically draw three circles. The outer circle is global events. The next smaller circle is national events. And then the center circle, the smaller one, is my community events. This is a 5-mile radius around me. So I look at, for example, right now, on a global perspective, we have economic issues, we have discussions of a monetary reset. We had issues overnight with several explosions taking place in Iran. There's speculation that it may be coming from Israel. I'm not sure on that yet. So those are global issues. On national issues, we have COVID-19. The unemployment rate is still high. We have economic issues. We have government issues. We have anarchy in the streets that seems to be spreading from city to city. We have racial division between blacks, whites. In my local community, that would focus on unemployment, homelessness, food shortages. What's the position of my county sheriff, supporter or non-supporter of the Second Amendment, shortage of ammunition, and how hard is it right now to buy a firearm. So these are some of the things that I would suggest that you, for your community and your area, that you give thought to. There's a whole host of events that could happen. One could trigger others, okay? So instead of focusing on a single event, I know a lot of folks have discussions, they like to talk about the threat of an EMP. Well, what's the higher likelihood between now and November? Having an EMP or getting caught in a civil disruption in your community? You may walk out of a store from grocery shopping or wherever you may be, barber shop, beauty shop, and within seconds you could be surrounded, and now you're caught up in civil hostilities. Have you given thought to how you're going to handle that? Okay. There's lots of cases that are taking place around America, and they are not turning out favorable for Second Amendment supporters and folks with concealed carry. The problem's not the Second Amendment, the problem's not concealed carry. The problem is individuals allowing the possible threat approaching them to trigger an automatic response of unconcealing your firearm. Okay? You have to be on your feet. You have to think fast. That's why I recommend you do scenario drills in your head or with your partner, and you have discussions. If this happens, this is how we're going to handle it. Okay? You can only match the threat with the equal amount of force to that threat. If folks are yelling and screaming at you and calling you obscenities, but they do not threaten you specifically, or they don't brandish any kind of a weapon, whether lethal or non-lethal, you may feel threatened and automatically draw your firearm to defend yourself, but as case by case is showing, you're going to end up on the wrong side of the law. Okay? Do not use a firearm brandished to try and intimidate that possible threat until that threat poses an equal response. I hope this makes sense to you. Okay? It's basically force on force. Alright? If I have not said a threat to you, I can criticize you and call you names all day long. It does not equate to you pulling a firearm on any account. In this scenario where I threaten you, or I don't threaten you, but yet you feel threatened and you pull a firearm, when it goes to court, you're going to be charged. Okay? Overuse of force for one. If it's a liberal county with a liberal court system, again, it's going to bite you in the behind. So give that some thought. Again, do scenario drills in your head. Think out, plan out how you and your partner would respond. The best advice I can give you in the current environment is, to the best that you can, make your way to your exit. You want to de-escalate the situation, and you want to disengage and get away from it. Okay? One of the tactics that's being used right now is individuals are being surrounded. They're being yelled at, harassed. In some cases they're being called bad names with profanity and so on, trying to escalate you to an equal pitch. Okay? You do not want to get caught up in that. If you're not familiar with something called verbal judo, go online, look it up, educate yourself on using words to try and de-escalate the situation till you can get in a vehicle and get away. What they're doing is individuals are filming you, they're filming the whole event, and an individual is filming your license plate and the make of your vehicles. And what they do then is if you threaten them, they shoot that video out and it goes to the mobs. And then either they'll be watching for you, or they will show up at your home, and now you have another problem. So again, the best thing I can tell you is you want to de-escalate, get to your exit, and disengage from the whole scene. So it would be easy to puff your chest out. Well, I'm going to stand up for my rights. I'm not telling you not to stand up for your rights. What I'm saying to you is you're going to have to pick and choose the right time and the right place. Okay? Because the way things are going in the country right now, events are not unfolding in our favor. You don't want to allow it to escalate to the point to where you accidentally discharge a firearm, brandish a firearm, if the force against you is not equal. Alright, so give that some thought. If you have any questions, you can email me at preparedness101@protonmail.com. You can visit our website at www.hopeforsurvival.com. I'll be happy to answer your questions, to help you in any way. The main goal here is every individual, as the clock ticks forward, you need to address your personal preparedness. Spiritual, psychological, and physical preparedness, and then you need to put together your preparedness plans and package for you and your family. Okay? If you wait till the moment that the clock strikes midnight, it's too late, and you're going to be in trouble. Okay? So be ahead of the game, be in the 5 to 10% who are prepared, and disengage when events transpire. Get away from the scene, get out of the city, have a place to go, have the resources already in your vehicle to get you where you need to go. Set up a family communication plan so the individuals where you're going know your transit, and they'll be waiting for you, and they'll know how much time it takes you. If you don't show up, then they can start looking for you. Okay? So be safe, keep the hope. Without hope, we don't have anything. And be prepared. Okay? Till next time, Bravo Echo out.